going on, you guys? Back again here with another video. Today we are back and working on the 2018 Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road. Today we're going to be doing a pretty cool install that I'm very excited to get into. We're going to be doing a 32-inch light bar that sits between the grill and the bottom bumper of the truck, and it stays real hidden and nice. Before this video starts, I want to give a huge shout out to AuxBeam once again for sending us out another really cool product. Today we're going to be working with the V-Series 32-inch RGB straight light bar. And yes, that's right, it is a RGB, which means that it's going to give us different colors, red, blue, or green, and it's going to give us the control to be able to choose whatever color we may want. Now, that wasn't the main reason why I got it, because at the end of the day I understand it is just a light bar, so it's going to be meant to be used for a specific reason and situations which aren't really going to call for color. But nonetheless, the reason why I actually went with RGB is because it is all controlled by a Bluetooth off your phone and off of an app. The app actually allows you to go either brighter or dimmer on that LED light bar. So if I actually wanted to use it as like a DRL light or something, I could, as long as I just dim it down off of the app. I'm not saying that that's what I'm going to do, but it's pretty cool to be able to have that control. Alright, you guys, so here's the light bar itself. Like I said, RGB, all Bluetooth wireless controlled off of an app. We are also going to be working with Cali raised LEDs supporting brackets, or I should say mounting brackets for that specific location. The light bar itself did come with its own brackets, but I mean, look at these things. These things look very sturdy. They're very well made, and they're going to fit exactly where and how we want them to. So huge shout out to Cali raised LED. I also went ahead and went with their OEM switch. That just makes it look a lot nicer up inside, and I'll show you where that goes and sits in place once we get to that point. Besides that, it's just a wiring kit that comes with the light bar itself, and that's pretty much it. For you guys that are watching, I am also going to put down in the description all the links to all these products, so you could go and check them out for yourself. Don't forget, you guys, AuxBeam.com, S550, 10% off is a code that they generated specifically for me and for you guys viewing. So feel free to go ahead and use that for yourselves. Get some discount off of all their cool products. They do not only offer Tacoma lights or Mustang lights, they offer any light that you could possibly think of. With that being said, let's dive right into this. Alright, you guys, so the next step to get these mounting brackets installed, what we're looking at here is the crash bar support, and what we want to do is we want to remove this 14mm nut off of the inside here, and we're going to do that on both sides. That's actually where the bracket will grab onto and pop up this way. Again, guys, we're just touching the inside, not the two outer ones. So I'm going to go ahead and get my 14mm. So what I went ahead and did is, if you see this transmission cooler here, what I went ahead and did is there's two 12mm bolts, one there and one there, that I went ahead and removed, and I did that just to be able to give me some play on it. So when I will go ahead and throw in my LED bar, it'll give me some room to play with. So I went ahead and did that. The next step is to go ahead and start working on our brackets. One mounting point's going to be there, where we remove the, I believe it was the 14mm nut off of the crash bar support. And then if you remember, when we removed the ram air duct, there was a push pin plastic piece that went in through there. Cali Raised actually gives you all the required hardware to be able to reinstall this with their own stuff. So the mounting points are going to be there and there. So we'll go ahead and dive right into that, and I'll show you that. Alright, you guys, so we're going to go ahead and dive right into these brackets. Now, you should remember that these brackets are site specific, but it's pretty easy to figure out how they go and on which side goes where. If you look at the bracket itself, let me make sure I'm making it. Okay, if you look at the bracket itself, it kind of has like this L shape, and then it has this offset support. This offset support is what goes through the crash bar support bolt goes through here. So we go ahead and feed this in place, put it over the bolt, bring this up, and that is it is now in place. We're gonna use their hardware, which in this case it's gonna be the bolt, a nut, or I'm sorry, a bolt, a washer through the support, and then on the other side we're gonna go ahead and hit it with the nut, with another washer and a lock nut. But per their recommendation, we are not going to tighten anything up. We're just going to loosely set everything in place. That way when we go to install the light bar itself, everything is loose and real easy to work with. So I went ahead and just got this bolt on there now. I'm going to go ahead and get the nut that goes on the crash bar down below and get that in place. Alright, it's pretty loose there. And that's pretty much it. That's all we're looking at. We'll go ahead and do the other side and I'll pick it back up on the next step. Alright you guys, so I'm moving on to the step and getting ready to put the light bar in place. Before I did so, I decided to look at the hardware that was supplied by Cali Ray's, and I ran into a little bit of an issue. Per Cali Ray's instructions, it's their bolt that they supplied, a washer and a locking washer. So, as you can see, the opening for this AuxBeam LED light bar is too big for the bolt that they supplied. Now, in the hardware that Cali Ray supplies, they give you 4 bigger washers and 2 smaller washers, which is these here. The 2 smaller washers are supposed to be used for the 2 bolts that go into the sides of the LED light bar itself. Well, now that I am unable to use that and I'm forced to use the hardware that came with the light bar itself, because obviously that fits, it's meant for this light bar, I still run into the issue of the small washers that they supplied being too small to work with this bolt. So what I went ahead and did is I went ahead and I looked at the truck itself. The 4 bigger washers that Cali Ray's supplies for us that go here and on the other side of this, I went ahead and I removed one of these big washers, which is the back one back here, and I replaced it with the small one of the 2 small ones that they gave us for the 2 bolts for the side of the LED bar itself, and it actually worked out great. So it's still plenty enough space now back there. I know the lighting sucks, but trust me, put one of the big washers up here and put one of the smaller washers in the back. Do that for both sides. And now, with that one larger washer being freed up here, it fits perfectly. So this is the larger washer that they send you. It fits perfectly. That'll go in. Now, since I can't use my lock washer like intended or per instructions on the smaller bolt, I'm just going to go ahead and use some Loctite on this. I don't have to go crazy strength. The medium strength should be plenty. So I use some medium strength Loctite, and now that'll work and problem solved. So we're going to go ahead and put this light bar in place, and we'll pick it up once we're ready to tighten everything down. Alright guys, so this is turning out to be a little more difficult than intended, or than I thought it would be, just because of this center support here. It hits on the light bar itself. As you can see, it's pretty thick. So what I need to try to do is try to get it into this way, but because it's hitting my crash bar support, I'm thinking if I remove this side bracket, totally take it out, slide it in place, at least put it in there, then I'm able to put this back, then it'll be a little easier, I believe. So I'm going to go ahead and take off my passenger side bracket for now, get this in place, and then we'll see if I can install it that way. Alright guys, my bracket is out of place. Here it is. So I'm going to go ahead and try this again, now that I have that space to play with. So actually that was a good idea to remove that bracket. Now the light bar is sitting not really where it's supposed to be, but it's sitting in place right there. I'm putting my hand on it right now. It's kind of hard to see, but as you can see, here is the bracket. All I got to do is lift this up, put it in place, put the screw in, and it'll be where it's supposed to. Before I go ahead and do that, I'm gonna put this side bracket back in place, and I'll pick this back up. Alright you guys, I was in the process of tightening everything down when I noticed something that I actually wanted to point out, because it is something that'll help you adjust the height and lower the height of your LED bar. As I was tightening, I noticed that this whole bracket, every single hole in this bracket has room for adjustment. I don't know if you can see that open slot there. So it allows you to be able to adjust the bracket up or down depending on how or where this LED light bar will align perfectly in the center. Now, for me, I just wanted, since I don't have a separate set of hands, what I just went ahead and did is one side at a time. I lifted the bracket all the way up. As you can see, I have all this space to adjust downwards. I lifted both sides of the bracket all the way up, tying down just those two nuts there, just to see where the LED light bar would sit. And for my specific situation with this specific light bar, you guys make sure you bring the bracket all the way up, and it'll give you the ability for your light bar to sit perfectly in the middle of this whole area. So highest setting or highest adjustment available in this brackets will work perfect for this specific light bar. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue to tighten everything down, and I'll pick it up once it's done. Really secure, it's not going anywhere. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the wiring aspect of it. As you can see, my wires are on the driver's side where my battery is. Now AuxBeam does do a great job at sending you a whole wiring diagram as far as how everything goes. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all these wires out, pull everything out, lay everything out, and then I'll kind of explain to you a little bit as far as how everything goes once I learn myself. One last thing, you guys, that I forgot to do, and you want to make sure you don't forget to do, is this transmission cooler here. You want to make sure you put back your 12mm bolts that go into place. It's just two of them that release it. One will go right in here, right in there, and the other will go right over here. So if you guys do decide to go with this light bar or any AuxBeam light bars at that, just go ahead and follow the instruction you guys follow the wiring diagram. Everything is labeled out very, very nicely, and it all makes sense. You don't have to know how to wire or what to do. It's all plug and play. At this point, I'm going to route all these wires nicely, figure out how I'm going to get it into the cab. After looking at it just real quick, it looks like there's some sort of grommet or inlet right here where my finger's at. The lighting kind of sucks, but forgive me, it's right there. And it's actually open straight into the cabin, so that's going to be my point of entry. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and clean all these wires up, and then we should be able to download the app and see what this light bar can really do. Alright you guys, so I'm currently still working on all my wiring. I figured I'd give you guys a quick update just because this is a real easy way to find out where to run the wires that you got to run inside. As you can see, I got my positive coming off my battery, got my negative coming off my battery. They all go to this relay bundle. The relay bundle I just screwed onto this existing grounding point. I used that bolt and it sit perfectly. That relay connects to my control box, which is right here. It's kind of just snug in place. I really don't see a point in tying it down or anything. It's wedged in between some wires right there. All the remainder of the wire is zip tied to here, just to keep it out of place and a little nicer. And that's pretty much it. So now we're working on running the on and off switch inside the car. As you can see, I went ahead and I cut off the actual, or actually sorry, that's not it. It's this one. I cut off the actual switch just to make it a little easier to run it through the little rubber grommet that I found that's already existing in place. Once I run it through there, I can see how I'm gonna connect the Cali raised LED switch or OEM switch inside. That's pretty much it. And then that OEM switch that I was telling you guys about will sit right here in this blank opening. So should look pretty sweet. So let's go ahead and try to get this wire through, and then I'll pick it up once everything's connected. Alright you guys, hopefully you're catching that on camera, but there are my two wires. It's actually pretty cool. Where I was trying to run the wires, there's this factory like wire clip right there. So my wires are able to just tuck in right into the clip, so they're not flopping all over the place. But there you go. Pushed in just through that little grommet there, off to the side. And now they are both ran up in here. So here I got both of these wires. So both of these wires, one of them, the thicker one, is your actual on and off switch. This one to the right. This left one I believe is actually just like a mode selector, but we are not going to be using this since we have the Bluetooth capability or the app wireless capability of changing through the modes and through the lights or whatnot. So I may discard this. I just want to make sure that the app works and everything works fine before I get rid of it. But it's in here, so I'll tuck it away in here. All this extra wiring, I'm going to tuck it away in here as well. Now we're moving on to removing this piece and installing and wiring up the new controller. Alright you guys, so we're inside the truck now. As you can see, I got that little cover piece off. I was right. All I did was stick one of these little pry tools in the side and pop it off, and it pops right out. This is our replacement switch here, and as you can see, there is a plug in the back, and this is what plugs into it. So the only thing that's different about this switch and the switch that comes with the light bar is the one that comes with the light bar actually only has 3 lights in them. Well, these 3 wires. Well, these 3 wires need to be connected to these 4. So I know for the switch itself, it's these 2 reds have to become 1. So I went ahead and butt connected. Now I know soldering is the best way to go about it, but unfortunately I do not have a soldering tool. But this will work just fine. If anything ever goes wrong, becomes disconnected, it'll all be in here. So it's a lot easier to work with other than it being under the hood. So it's going to go 2 red to the red coming off of the light bar. And then it's going to be the black off the switch to the black off the light bar, and then I'm gonna go green to the yellow off the light bar. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this all connected, pop it all in place, test it. Testing it, everything looks good. Then I'll start to go ahead and clean up and make everything look nice, and I'll show you guys the final product. Pretty cool. Let's check it out. So as you can see, it's on there. Come up over here, and there it is. Obviously right now it doesn't look too bright during its middle of the day, so when it gets darker tonight, I'll go ahead and show you guys how that looks and how bright it goes. Alright you guys, so there you have it, another successful install here at the house. I can't wait to check out this light bar at night, and I can't wait to show you guys some shots of it at night as far as the brightness or whatnot. So make sure you stay tuned. At the end of this video, I will show you guys shots of the brightness at night. One more time, huge shout out and thank you to AuxBeam for taking care of me and sending this out to me. I had a lot of fun installing it, and I'm gonna have a lot of fun using it. If you guys want to get yourself some, all the links to all the things that I have used today are going to be down in the description box. Make sure you go check them out, and do not forget, you guys, AuxBeam has given us our own discount code S550, 10% off. I'm gonna put it here in the screen, and I'm also gonna put it down below. So make sure you go use that discount code, get yourself some lights, and check them out. Thanks for watching, you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.
Fingers down my side. Girl, you look mighty fine. Won't you rub your fingers down my side? Girl, you look mighty fine. Won't you rub your fingers down my side? Girl, you look mighty fine. Won't you rub your
Yeah, let's fucking rage!